Hi foodies, welcome back. Today I'll be sharing a highly requested recipe, and that is for Nigerian chicken stew. If you're interested in seeing how I made this, keep watching, and if this is your first time here, welcome, glad to have you here, and I'm really hopeful you'll subscribe to my channel. Okay, I'll start first by seasoning the chicken. I'm using whole cut up chicken for this recipe, and I'm going to season this with onion, crushed garlic, fresh thyme, salt, curry powder, seasoning cube, chicken seasoning cube, and ginger powder just because I don't have any fresh ginger roots. I've put my stove on medium-low heat, and I'm going to mix this around until the chicken starts to steam. Chicken, especially soft chicken, contains a lot of water, so there's no need to add water at this point. So I'll cover this and allow to steam. After about 5 to 8 minutes, I add a little bit of water, cover it back up, and allow to cook for an additional 15 minutes. So while the chicken cooks, I'll go ahead and start with the stew base. For this, I'll be using bell peppers or tatashe, tomatoes. Roma tomato works best if you're not in Nigeria, Scotch bonnet pepper or atarodo, and also a little bit of onion. And before blending, be sure to take out the seeds from the tatashe pepper, especially when you're using the local kind. You find out that if you blend it with the seeds, it can give your food a bitter taste. So always take out the seeds as well as the stems, the veins on the peppers. If you're using the English kind, you don't necessarily need to. You can also take out the seeds for a smoother blend, but it's not necessary to do that. And you can also do this for the Scotch bonnet peppers. Some varieties, especially the ones you find abroad, are extremely spicy. So if you want to use a lot but obviously can't stand that much heat, take out the seeds and the veins of the peppers. It's going to cut back the heat significantly. After prepping the peppers, I'm going to go ahead and blend them. I always blend by adding the tomatoes first. They have the higher water content, so it will enable the mix blend with little or no water added. And I'm going to blend this until it's completely smooth. Now I'm going to check on my chicken. It's fully cooked at this point. I'll take it off the heat and separate the meat from the stock. I'll return the pot back to the stove and pour in the tomato blend. Now I'll allow this cook until significantly reduced. This should take about 30 to 45 minutes. And while this is boiling, try not to stir the mixture. The moment you start stirring it or you put a spoon in it, it's going to start splashing everywhere, creating a mess. So try to just leave it undisturbed until it's significantly reduced. After a while, this is what it looks like. It's thick enough. I'm going to take this off heat and set aside. Next, I'm going to fry the chicken in batches. Of course, for a healthy alternative, you can choose to either grill or air fry the chicken until it's golden brown. Now I'm going to take the oil out and pass it through a sieve before returning it back to the pot. Then I'll add in some finely chopped onions and also minced garlic, and I'll let this fry for about 2 minutes. Now I'm going to add the boiled down pepper mix. And you might be thinking this is quite a lot of oil for one dish, and you're absolutely correct, but when making stew you need a good amount of oil to be able to properly fry the pepper mix, simply because frying is a really crucial process when making Nigerian stews. Plus, you can always take out the excess oil when the stew is ready. Now I'm going to season this with salt, chicken seasoning, thyme, curry and ginger powder. And I'm seasoning mildly because I'm still going to add the very flavorful meat stock, and I don't want the stew to end up being over seasoned. So I'm going to fry this for about 15 minutes, making sure I stir occasionally so the stew doesn't burn. After about 15 minutes, I can tell that the stew is properly fried as most of the oil is now floating. So now I'm going to go ahead and add in the chicken stock. And the amount of chicken stock you add is really dependent on how chunky you want the stew to be. I'm going to give this a very good mix. And afterwards I'm just going to let it simmer for about 10 minutes. And now is the perfect time to add in the fried chicken. Then I'll let the chicken simmer in the stew for an additional 10 minutes on medium-low heat. After that, the stew is done. If you want it drier, you can always leave it for an extra few minutes. I like mine just like this, so I'm going to turn off the heat at this point. And I'll be serving this with white rice and fried plantain. You can also enjoy chicken stew with pasta, potatoes, beans, and a whole lot more. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and if you have, thank you so much for subscribing, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye guys.